Sagittarius. Welcome to Days of Our Lives Tarot Tales. When I was shuffling the cards to discover the theme for this video story, the theme that's coming out is one where an individual is needing to see the truth about who they are. They're needing to ground themselves and explore their roots and really figure out what makes them tick. So this means their shadow side, their light side, what makes them happy, what makes them sad. Some deep inner child work. And the purpose for this is because this individual who has not had an opportunity to do this is drawing to themselves relationships that create more confusion in their lives, that don't end the way that they want them to, that they may be growing from because they're matching with soulmates. I believe that they are actually hooking up with soulmates. And I don't mean hooking up in just a very, animal nature type, just, hooking up, but connecting with and having relationships with in whatever form that looks like. Because that person that they are connecting with is at the vibration that they're on. However, the relationships that they're going into are not reflective of the truth of who that person is, nor is it reflective of what that person is looking to attract when it comes to these soulmate relationships. I get the sense that this individual is unable to pay attention to the red flags that they receive whenever they are starting these types of relationships. And I think part of that is because of the wounding and blockages in the heart space that's causing them to play a heart song that's pulling in people who are reflective of that wounding. And so it's creating more of a cycle of these repeat broken relationships where we all go through these types of things, but the idea is to heal and to grow as we go through them, to learn lessons, so that then we attract a different type of situation because of what we've learned before, what we've worked on before, and what we've healed. When that does not happen, we kind of bring in the same things. Ultimately, this person wants to have a successful relationship, but it's not happening because they have not yet really tried to ground themselves and work on maybe even being alone and giving themselves some time to really process through who they are and being their own best lover first before trying to pull someone in who will be a mirror image, a reflection of them. So I feel like this person may also even feel that it's not safe for them to receive love and a healthy relationship. At some level, they may not feel like they can trust it. And so they're actually attracted to situations that are destined to not work out because intuitively they know it's not going to work, but they're comfortable with things not working. It fits the narrative that they've told themselves. And so therefore, they want this to continue in that way. So the two characters that we have in this story, our first is, I believe this is the individual who is needing to do some grounding work. I'm seeing that this person has some deep-seated resentments about failed relationships, the times that they've given their heart out to others and kind of had those cups turned upside down. But I'm picking up that this person has actually received many opportunities to be in healthy, loving, healing, even divinely guided relationships. However, because there's a sense of confusion about who this person is and what they're about, they have a sense of confusion when it comes to selecting partners who are complementary to who it is that they would like to be or who they aspire to be, and the types of experiences that they would like to have. Some of this I feel ties back to that sense of not feeling like they deserve to receive a healthy relationship. They don't seem to see themselves as having a potential, like it's not in the cards for them. Like everyone else can have it, but for some reason it can never work for me, because look at all these times that it did not work. However, I'm getting that that comes from some wounding that's causing this person to not see themselves, to see the truth of who they are, and to really walk in that, so that they can then project that out into the world, so that they will receive what they truly want, which is a healthy, loving, harmonious relationship. The second character is, from what I'm seeing here, most likely a partner that has decided to kind of let things go in this relationship. This person is acting with pure logic. So they would almost appear like they're being very cold, not swayed by emotion. If this other person wanted to try to emotionally manipulate them into staying in the relationship or giving it another chance, I feel like this person is on operating on pure logic and action. And the action that they're taking is that they're willing to let go of all the hard work that they put into the relationship and to cut things off and let it go. I feel like they may have been even trying to build a future with this person, and they're letting it go. They're willing to just not hold on to the emotion that's attached to what they've done to build the relationship. They're more concerned about how logical is it to put that effort and energy into something that's not ultimately building them what they want, which is a stable foundation. Okay. Like a family, a home life. I feel like they felt like it was kind of for naught, and it's a waste of energy. Um, and the reason for this I'm getting is because they're sensing, or they're recognizing, that the person they're in a relationship with, or that they were in a relationship with, is not able to overcome the wounding that they have, which at some level they may have shared when they first started this relationship. And that's why they were able to come together, because they were dealing with some of the same things. Not to say one is more evolved or better than the other, but I feel like this person who's walking away has learned some lessons and kind of developed a bit, and is no longer looking to be in a relationship that's not feeding them beyond just a very, not so much superficial, but I feel like there's a lot of like sexuality, which is a huge part of the relationship, but is heavily based on sex and so on, without having structure and foundation and a goal that you're moving towards, as far as long-term commitment and stability and seeing fruits of that labor. We don't typically look at sex as being labor, but it's the idea of building connection in this very physical way, to have a connection that you can see the fruits of when it comes to like having a family and a home. I feel like this person was just really moving to a place where they wanted to see more of that. And it may not have been happening. And with this person struggling to feel like they're worthy of that, or that they deserve to have that kind of a relationship, they may have even been sabotaging a bit. And, with them not being grounded, it could even be, there could have been some, wanton, sexual energy, maybe flirting outside the relationship, things like that, that were feeding into this. Um, In the conflict, I'm seeing that this person may have picked up the message or realized that this person was not able to really be faithful. I mean, it seems like this person may have some issues with flirting and kind of having some very, maybe, sexual, lusty communication with others outside of the relationship, while simultaneously not really investing at a heart level into the relationship that they're in. So, really, just kind of not being able to settle down is what I'm saying. Whereas this other individual was really trying to build with this person. And so, because of that, um, I'm saying that this person was a Queen of Pentacles in the upright and has now switched to the reverse. So, does not feel like she or he, it could go vice versa. It's just the energy. The gender is not as important as the energy itself. But this person feels as if there's not a lot of abundance or fertility in the sense of the fruit of your labor, tying that back to what I said before. Whereas this other person, the card that came out with this is the King of Pentacles. So this person is the counterpart to this individual. The issue is that it's like the person has the resources, they have what it takes to offer to have a stable, harmonious relationship. However, because this person is not grounded and does not see themselves as truly being capable of providing that and having it last long term, they're not offering it. Although they have some stability that they can offer, but they can't offer, um, or let me say, it's not the stability. They have resources and they have the potential. It's there. They're in a position of authority. However, they are not grounded enough to provide the stability that this is going to be worth the labor that you're putting in, that you are going to be able to reap a harvest from what you've been planting into. Um, I feel as if at some level, this person, because they may not be very grounded, I'm seeing lots of grapes here on the cloak. This is the Rider-Waite Tarot. So I'm almost feeling like these relationships are like a wine, like a fine wine, and you're drinking these wines, you cultivate them, and it takes time. It takes time to develop wine, just like with a relationship. It's like developing a fine wine. It takes time. There's care that you put into it, and the conditions are going to change how the flavor comes out and all of that, the acidity, the alcohol levels, all of that. But because this person does not feel as if they can really provide that, they've got lots of clusters of grapes and lots of different wines going at the same time, because surely one of them is going to come out okay. So if one is sour or bitter or it's not just right, you've got several going at the same time. So one of them is bound to come out right. And it becomes a game of overlap. And I'm picking up that this individual who's in this King of Swords energy that's leaving this alone is recognizing this, might be picking up the red flags, maybe, or maybe was ignoring the red flags, and has decided to recognize that the efforts that they were putting in, they were just one of many clusters of grapes that were being fermented and aged over time. And I think this person has decided that they want the wine that they are bringing to the table to be appreciated. They don't want to be just one of many. They want to be the wine on the table, not the wine on the table for the moment until the next bottle gets pulled out the cellar of like 50 other ones that are easily replaceable, easily replaced. So there could have been also a sense of codependence between these two individuals, where they were afraid to kind of let each other go. For the first character, it could have been because of the sense of putting in effort to try to make at least one relationship work, but not having the esteem to feel like it would work, that it was safe to just focus on one person and then be back at square one because you've put all of your eggs in one basket and now you have nothing to show for it. I feel like this other individual may have been on the other side of that, where they did put all their eggs in one basket and they're recognizing that it may not actually have been a good choice for them because the individual that they're with has been struggling with really grounding themselves enough to figure out what it is that they want in their lives, who they are, what makes them happy, what makes them tick, what are their strengths and weaknesses, so that they can be aware and conscious of that when choosing partners, when entering into relationships that are going to impact all of the people involved. And because of this, I'm saying that these two individuals are ultimately not going to be moving forward um, with this relationship because there doesn't seem to be the structure for a positive change to take place with them together, because it seems as if one has kind of outgrown the relationship and is not willing to pour any more effort into a relationship with someone that they don't feel is grounded enough to reciprocate the investment that they are pouring into this individual. Okay. For that reason, this person may have had a dream that this would work. They'd really hoped that it would be, I feel like at the beginning it was like a dream relationship. It was a novel thing. It was new. With this invite serendipity, it could have felt like it was like a unicorn relationship. It was like you had the best of all worlds. You had this person where maybe you had a commitment, but not really a commitment, but you had this love for each other and that was going to overcome all. And I think this person just kind of decided that at some point they wanted that stability, that could only go for so long. And maybe at their core, they knew they were willing to go along with that because they just knew that over time they could develop a relationship like a fine wine. What they realized is that, they weren't just working on their wine, there was several going on, and that was the context and the framing of that relationship. And they're no longer willing to participate in that, even to the point of if they have to drink the wine themselves and be single and just really get to know who they are and be that person for them, drink for their own cup instead of having others drink from their cup and not provide a cup in return. They'd rather do that. So, all right, Sagittarius, that is the story that I have for you. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next video.